what we have right in front of us is two very popular cell phone gimbals. We have the all-new Insta360 Flow going against DJI's latest OM 6. Now, I've been using both of these for quite some time now. I use it a lot when it comes to making YouTube videos, and the reason I like both of them is because if you look at them in their folding condition, they're extremely compact, but they're almost like a Swiss Army knife because they have some tricks up their sleeves. Because for instance, the DJI, a company that's well known for making drones, actually makes some really good gimbals, because once we unfold it, it can actually extend up to 8.5 inches, which is quite a bit, and will automatically shut off once you fold the gimbal as well, just like so. The Insta360, similar design, actually, like in terms of concept, because you just unlock it and it automatically turns on, and just like the DJI, it also extends, ironically, 8.5 as well. But one has an even deeper trick in its sleeve, because on the bottom portion right here, this can actually fold out. As you may have noticed, it has a built-in tripod. Where with the DJI, they do provide a tripod, but you have to remember to carry this on your person whenever you need it. But as an added bonus, when this is extended, this actually does act like an additional grip for the handle, which makes it comfortable and more convenient to get those like long selfie shots. Because the complaint I have with the Insta360 is it's kind of flimsy. It's not solid, but again, they thought of everything, because if you actually fold down this portion right here, which can also act as an extension for the handle as well. But right here, if you fold it all the way up, you do have access to a little thread right here to actually connect it to a tripod similar to like the DJI. So let's talk about specs if you're shopping around between these two popular gimbals. They both retail for $159. That's the starting price for both of them. They're both extremely small and ergonomic, and both offer similar payload as well, as both can actually receive a payload and support a smartphone up to 300 grams. They're both 3-axis gimbals. Just in terms of battery life, the DJI can go up to 6 hours of operation time. Meanwhile, the Insta360 Flow can actually handle 12 hours of operation time. The reason why it's able to have a much more longer battery life is because the battery capacity is bigger, as it is a larger 2900 milliamp per hour battery capacity. Meanwhile, the DJI is only rated at 1000. The benefits with the Insta360 is this battery be used and act like a power bank, which there's two USB-C ports, one on top right here, and when you have a smartphone connected, which also use magnetic clamps just like the DJI, and yes, it is compatible with most cases as well. But there is actually a USB port right here that allows you to actually connect your smartphone to this device, so you can actually receive charge as you're recording. The DJI Osmo OM 6 unfortunately does not deliver power to your battery. So once you're out of juice, you need to be put aside and actually charge your device. But since it does have a larger battery, the Insta360 Flow can take up to 2 hours to charge, versus the DJI will take about 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now, I do a lot of filming, primarily utilizing a microphone of some sort. So because of that, you definitely want to be known that the Insta360 does support a code shoe port right here, which you simply unfold this section and you can actually plug in like a microphone receiver right here or other accessories you may want. The DJI doesn't offer any of that in its body. And the DJI only comes available in one color option, that is this dark gray color. Meanwhile, the Flow, you can purchase this Summit White or Stone Gray. So here's a side-by-side comparison, so you get a better understanding how each gimbal looks like against one another. Now, both gimbals can quickly be swapped into landscape mode or portrait mode on the fly. You can also manually adjust it as well with the pivot position if you need to override it if the joystick is too slow for you. The control layout are extremely similar. The modes, each of them actually support the same exact modes. These have PAM, Tilt PAM, FPV, and Spin. I do personally prefer the control layout on the Insta360 because it has this nice scroll wheel design, which allows you to actually like navigate and switch between different modes just like so. And it actually does write the modes right here. Meanwhile, with the DJI, you have to tap on the mode button and just memorize what each icon of these modes indicate. But you do have a quick access to record, shutter button, capability to quickly switch between landscape mode and portrait mode with the push of a button, power on and off, and the scroll wheel is actually on the side on the DJI. This is a personal preference. I'm okay with both of them because the Insta360 has this like rotating body, circular body right here, which again, both are easy to adapt and I prefer both of them. So I don't have any pros or cons between the different scroll wheel location. And before we progress, here's another comparison how both look like when they're both fully extended. So yes, the DJI definitely has a little bit more of a height advantage, but like literally less than half an inch. Here, let's see if the camera could catch that. Right here, full extended. They're really close to each other. In terms of software, both have an amazing UI. There's no complaints whatsoever. Again, they have all the important features that you expect both of them to have. They're actually extremely similar, just the tracking capability. The Insta360 has an advantage right here because it actually is using AI tracking, which means it does have a better job in facial recognition as well as detecting if a subject goes out of frame and then hops back in. The Insta360 is most likely to reactivate and start tracking that same subject again. As you can see right here, the Insta360 lost track of me and it actually zoomed out with the largest zoom setting just to see it could retract me, and it did. Now here it is again with the DJI OM app this time. This one instantly just lose track of me, doesn't do anything. I even had a hard time so it could actually retract me. As you see right here, I'm like literally waving at it, it wouldn't even look back. But then eventually it does begin retracking. Insta360 does this all automatically and does an excellent job in recognizing the subject. So when it comes to overall best tracking capabilities, the Insta360 Flow wins that. It also does a great job in like object detection as well, as there's ways you can actually track like a basketball on hoops and stuff. It's really interesting. This one's extremely advanced thanks to AI, of course. DJI needs to put AI, integrate some AI to compete with the tracking nowadays. So what I have right behind me is a vehicle that I'm actually currently filming. So what best way to test out the auto editing software that it has on both of these two gimbals than right now. So let's begin. So let's start off with the DJI. And we're gonna go ahead and scroll to the story section because we'll be using this for content creating. So there's a couple of drafts they have already pre-made of different styles to select from. Trying not to go to something too crazy, just something simple for this car, which is luxury. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this. And it gives us video tutorial on what angles to get to capture this, and it basically walks you through everything. So here's the finishing project with the DJI. This was all made in a rush, just using the built-in software to do it. It's not bad for like quick creations on the go. So it gets an okay from me, a pass. Now as for the Insta360, it doesn't have anything on its menu, but it does have a lot more modes as you're about to find out. So we got time shift, slow-mo, dolly zoom, which is stuff that we see here, but we also have widescreen mode, live mode, which you can also do on the DJI, but a hot mode is something we don't have on DJI. I'll go ahead and go more in depth in these and like more in the tips and trick video that's coming up. Well, Insta360 has it differently than DJI because here you can actually edit projects based on the existing photos you have. So I'm gonna go ahead and record the Cadillac right now and use the AI to edit our video. So we're done with the video. Now let's go ahead and tap on the auto edit and use AI to do this for us. And here's the end results. Not bad. Really, it's honestly on par with the DJI. So this does a really good job, and there's a lot of different templates and layouts you can select from. Just however, there's no rotations that I noticed the DJI kind of does. But again, I could have just selected a different style. And then when it comes to mobility range, there's something impressive I want to go ahead and highlight. So whenever you pivot these two to the right, they're 100% identical. However, when you pivot them to the left, as you're about to see, it does more than just a 180. There's a little bit more movement on the right side for the 360, which is really impressive, especially super handy when you're using AI tracking. And then when it comes to like, let's say the tilt up, identical. Tilt down, identical as well. And then of course double tap will recalibrate the gimbal back to the center by double tapping the trigger button. That's identical as well. Just however, I have noticed whenever you're video recording like small subjects and you're trying to like tilt down, it's identical. It's only just when you lock it in place by holding down the trigger and hold and lock and keep it in identical, DJI remains a little bit more still, but just slightly, as now they're both like suffering. So in conclusion, I honestly do like the Insta360 Flow a little bit more. And then I have forgotten to bring my tripod attachment on my DJI gimbal most of the time. So the benefit of this one is like built into it. It's super convenient. Even though it's flimsy, it makes up for it for just being convenient all around. And once you're done, you just disconnect like so. It turns off the gimbal and you just fold it down to its folding form. So there you guys have it. Other than appearance and compact size wise, both are extremely similar. Even though the UI is more improved, the software is more improved on the Insta360 Flow than it is with DJI. I'm sure over time DJI could easily update the app to make it even on par or competitive again against the Insta360 Flow. But as it stands right now, both are extremely well valued, but I have to give it to the Flow in terms of being overall more jam-packed with features and more compact, as you can see right here. Again, both are amazing gimbals. It's just they both have pros and cons, but there's more pros on the Insta360 Flow. I'll be sure to include links where you can find them in the video description down below. And if you plan on buying the DJI OM 6, check out this video over here where I cover all the amazing tips and tricks that you can do with that gimbal. And make sure to stay tuned for the Insta360, which should be up there when that video is uploaded. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.